I'm Tom Salta. I'm a composer, producer, and songwriter. For the first 15 years of my career, I was mainly in the record business. I spent a lot of time on tour, and then I got back into record production. And at that time, I was also playing video games like Halo and Rainbow Six and Prince of Persia. And it wasn't until 2001 that I actually fell in love with the idea of doing video game music. There was something about it that just drew me in. I first discovered Arturia in 1999, right on the cutting edge of virtual instruments. I just love it because it gives me instant access to synths that I would have only dreamed about having access to back when those synths really were available. Perfect example of that is in Wolfenstein, where I was going for technology only available in 1980. So I was just limiting myself to things like the Prophet and the ARP 2600 and the Synclavier. And the way I really wanted to approach it was to come up with an authentic collection of instruments and signal chains. And that's why Arturia gave me a huge leg up, because I don't own a lot of that stuff, like the Fairchild and the ARP 2600 and the Synclav, and the list goes on and on. So Arturia was like my savior. There are so many little bits and pieces in this game that I really love, but I'd say this one is definitely one of my favorites, the Paris 1980. It seemed to really kind of hit the center of the sonic signature that we were going for. I allowed myself that phase to kind of explore, experiment, and assemble a palette of sounds that works for whatever I'm doing. Arturia was a huge part of that, and gathering together patches that really captured the atmospheres and the textures that I wanted to create. In case there's any doubt whether or not I play the games that I work on, rest assured I do. So this is Wolfenstein Cyberpilot in VR on the Vive, and this is absolutely nuts. It's like all around you. It's like so cool. Whoa! There he is. Burn. Normally I do not get a chance to play the game ahead of time. But because I've played so many games over the years and have played games that I've done music for, I've learned from experience what works best and what doesn't work best. So it does give me that kind of experience to judge how to improve and how to do things better the next time. There we go. Woo! I think I just died. One of the newest toys that I got was this Arturia Drum Brute. Just love this thing. It has so much attitude. It's just like a great retro sounding drum machine. But the scariest beast of all is the Matrix Brute right behind me. That thing's amazing because it brings the flexibility of modular synthesis, but the convenience of digital patch saving. So I can still have that serendipitous patch creation where I can just turn knobs, not know what I'm doing, and come upon something that sounds great, but then recall it. Because if you're just using modular synths and you have all those wires and you find something you love, you better take a lot of good photos because you're never going to get it back again. But with this thing, I can save it, I can recall it, and it's right there. It's amazing to see how much a studio has changed. If you look in my studio, it probably has the least amount of gear that it's ever had. But because of virtual instruments, I have a whole museum of endless gear that I can call upon that is all right there in a computer.